The Rainbow Town. As the sun rose over the sleepy town of Willow Creek, a sea of brightly colored balloons began to inflate above the streets, like a rainbow-colored mist. Among them was 10-year-old Emma, who had always loved balloons and was now on the cusp of making her dream a reality. Her best friend Max grinned at her as they watched the first batch of balloons take shape above their heads. Just then, Emma's mom poked her head out of the front door, calling out that breakfast was ready. As they sat down to eat, Emma noticed that her mom seemed different, beaming with excitement in a way she rarely did. "I had the most wonderful dream last night," she said, her eyes sparkling. Emma's heart skipped a beat as she realized that her mom had been inspired by the same idea that had been buzzing around in her own mind for weeks. As they finished breakfast and headed outside, Emma saw that the town was slowly coming to life. People were emerging from their homes, blinking sleepily in the bright morning light. But as they looked up at the balloons above them, something magical happened. Their faces lit up with wonder and delight. Some of them started to dance and spin around, laughing and playing as if they had never felt so carefree before. Others simply stood still, their eyes drinking in the colorful beauty above them. As the balloons continued to inflate, people began to gather at the edge of town, looking out in awe as they floated overhead. Some brought chairs and blankets, settling in for what promised to be an unforgettable spectacle. Emma felt like she was floating among the balloons herself, her heart soaring with joy and excitement. She looked over at Max, who was grinning from ear to ear, and saw that he was feeling exactly the same way. As they watched, a giant balloon drifted lazily above them, its bright blue body glowing in the morning sunlight. Emma felt a sudden jolt of inspiration, and she grabbed Max's arm excitedly. "I know what we have to do," she whispered to him, her eyes shining with excitement. "We have to make the biggest balloon of all time," Emma exclaimed, her face set in determination. Max's eyes widened in amazement as Emma began to spin out a wild and wonderful plan. As they talked, the balloons above them seemed to grow bigger and more vibrant, their colors bleeding into one another like a beautiful, shimmering rainbow. And when Emma finally finished speaking, Max grinned at her with excitement. "We can do it," he shouted back to her, his voice carrying across the sea of people below. As they watched, the balloons above them began to take shape in new and wondrous ways, great arches and sweeping curves, their colors flashing and shimmering like 1,000 tiny lights. In this special town, anything was possible, and the brightest colors of all were yet to come. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the balloons above the street seemed to grow even bigger and more vibrant, filling the air with a kaleidoscope of color that shimmered and danced like a living thing. And at the very heart of it all, Emma and Max floated among the balloons, their hearts full of hope and excitement for the magical adventures that lay ahead.